Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Footy Travellers Podcast.
Well, Najjah, welcome to the Footy Travelers Podcast. It's finally great to connect with you and see you in person, almost, kind of.
Not on a big screen.
Yeah, not on a big screen for now. But that's right. Listen, It is my absolute pleasure and honor to be here on Footy Travelers. Act like you know. Boom, boom, boom. Absolutely brilliant. So thank you.
Oh, man, the vibes, the energy, they are real. They are super real.
So real.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of vibes and energy, you brought your vibes and energy to the footy travel scene very recently. You actually have a little bit of a history with what I'm going to have you talk about real quick. We're at the beginning of 2024, and your 2024 started off with a really exciting footy travel trip. Tell the listeners where you were at the beginning of this year and just, what you were doing.
Yeah, for sure. So, I was grateful to go to Qatar to host my second AFC Asian Cup. And it was absolutely brilliant. It was 5 weeks over there in Doha. I'd been there for the Men's World Cup. But the initial one, the first one I did was in 2019, and that was in United Arab Emirates and Abu Dhabi and Al Ain. But it was an incredible trip. I mean, it's always a wonderful thing. It was a scene I didn't know too much about, to be fair. I'm coming from a North American, Caribbean background. Didn't really know about the Asian Cup and, all it entailed. After 2019, I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the countries. And it's just one of those things, as traveling around the world and seeing soccer, football, you get to see, the passion is real everywhere. It's palatable, it's tangible, and it's all about the fans and, of course, the product on the pitch. But, it was an amazing time.
That's awesome. So how did you get this gig in the first place? Like, this is a pretty unique responsibility that you have. So how did you get it?
Yeah, so I'm part of an infotainment crew, and we're our job is to do the pre-match, halftime, and the recap, or the ending of the match type of thing. So myself, how I got this gig was through basically the Pan Am Games started everything off for me from that standpoint. So I got called to do the Pan Am Games, to host the Pan Am Games, because of you guys ever saw that you guys ever read that book called The Tipping Point?
Malcolm Gladwell? I love that book. Malcolm Gladwell is the best.
Oh, yeah. So it's an interesting my tipping point for this was very interesting because my band, I come from a music background. My band happened to have to do a gig in this little hole in the wall called the Speakeasy downtown Toronto. It was on like a Wednesday night or something, and I think it was snowing, and we thought no one's gonna come, and we didn't promote it properly. Wasn't gonna go. Ended up going, and there was like 6 people there, and one of them was the manager. And that same manager I ended up developing a relationship with, and he ended up going to host the Olympics. He moved away. He moved to Vancouver. He helped put together the Vancouver Olympics, and through that, he ended up getting involved with the Pan Am Games. He reached out to me 3 years later, because it was like about 3 years later after the 2012 Olympics. And he called me and he messaged me on Facebook or something. And I think I was doing some kind of network marketing thing or trying to get into it. And he messaged me, and I was like, yo, you saw my message about, you saw my post. He's like, I don't give a shit about your goddamn network marketing. I want you to host the Pan Am Games. So I was like, amazing. Yeah. So I ended up doing the Pan Am Games with him. I wanted to do football. I wanted to do soccer. He was like, you got to do beach volleyball. I was like, this is crazy. I want to do the soccer, right? Obviously, because I'm a big footy guy. He said, at the end of the day, we have you structured for this right here. I was like, okay. When I went, I wasn't too mad at the bikinis and, the whole atmosphere. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? It was nice. But the actual atmosphere was brilliant. It was excellent. But through that Pan Am Games, both of us got recognized there and ended up getting on with FIFA. And that started the whole snowball effect of a whole bunch of things that happened that led me to 2019. Well, we talk about everything else we did, but that's what got me to where I am right now, doing a bunch of incredible things around the world in the sport I love the most.
That's wild. That's wild. Yeah. Now I'm putting some pieces together. As I look at your video, I see the microphone covers on the shelf in the background from all the different tournaments that you've hosted.
Yeah. Those are a couple of them right there. That's like
Yeah.
Lithuania Futsal World Cup, Women's World Cup. I mean, just a couple of them. Women's World Cup. I don't even know. I can't remember. Or CONCACAF as well, Gold Cup, and a couple of them. So
Uh-huh.
when I get it,
Uh-huh.
when I can call it, and Mikey Don, I try to snag the things, but I keep
Yeah,
forgetting
that's smart.
sometimes because you're so
Right.
excited, because we're doing like the trophy presentation. I was like, but you're just like, oh, this is amazing, and then I
Yeah.
forget to take the damn mic. But yeah,
Right. Okay. So, all right, I'm going to catch myself up a little bit. Sometime before 2012, you kind of get discovered for the Pan Am Games. You host those successfully. You become part of this entertainment group that then gets contracted by FIFA to do hosting for the other tournaments. And so you've done men's World Cups, women's World Cups, and now your second Asian Cup. Is that right?
yeah. My second Asian Cup, I did the CONCACAF Gold Cup. I did the Futsal World Cup.
Yeah.
I've also worked with the U.S. men's national team as a client. As well, I'm from Grenada, as a Spiceman from Grenada, just so you know. So put some
Hey.
respect on Grenada right now. But I work with the Grenadian national team from time to time as well, which is awesome. And I've been dying to get involved with the Canadian national program, but it just hasn't happened yet. Budgets and this, that, and I don't know. And I'm like, man,
Mhm.
if Grenada could do it, man. And I'll do it for free, man. Actually, I lied. I took it back. I did one thing for Canada. And that was because of the Gold Cup. I did one match at
Uh,
BMO Field, which was pretty cool. So, but
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
okay.
yeah.
Well, wasn't there like there was some stuff going on with Canadian football and like the soccer like federation? There's
They went
some,
bankrupt or are
yeah, they went
bankrupt or
bankrupt or they're
Well,
going, they
yeah,
are.
man, it's a whole thing right now. So I mean, it's just so sad. The state of because we have such a great product, and from the grassroots level up to the professionals, and at this point right now, where we're getting ready to host we're getting ready to host and I'm getting ready to work this World Cup in 2026. As we know,
Mhm.
it's going to be in Canada, America, and Mexico. So I'm hoping someone steps up, the government, something, because they need to get some sort of funding to get to match the talent. We're really starting to
Right.
make some waves, as you know, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you got, Jonathan Davies and Alfonso Davies and
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan David and playing abroad.
Yeah, Stachio, you got Buchanan, just got first shout out
Name,
to
yeah,
Buchanan, first one in the Serie
Mhm.
A, which is brilliant. Yeah, so a lot
yeah.
of great Kyle Laren. I mean, yeah, so there's a lot of great people
Yeah,
on the team.
for sure, for
So
sure. Another follow-up question for your hosting stuff. Tell people what that's like. Like what would be the job description? What are your responsibilities as a tournament or match host? Mike and I have seen that attending these tournaments. We know we can picture it in our head, but for some of these
right.
listeners who maybe haven't been to a major tournament with a host,
And
what's
can I
that
add a
like?
small secondary question to that? Do you have to get training? Like, is there some sort of like training or process that you have to do
Yeah,
too?
fair enough. Good question. So, excuse me, I'll answer the second question first, Mikey Don. It's an arrante do nacimiento. Oh, no, I won't speak Spanish. I'm just joking. There is no training for it. We were just kind of like guerrilla style at first, and then we started to morph into what we kind of wanted to do. We know that we have segments that we want to do, but there was no particular training that I did. It was more like this guy's an improv guy, but we're going to work on what we have to say at the beginning and the end of the segments. And what we're doing actually, the match description is pretty awesome. So, I'm just a fun guy, essentially, where at the beginning of the match, we want to engage the fans from both clubs or countries, and we want to have incredibly fun things to do, or we want to have trivia questions or chants that we can invoke so that we can continue to build the atmosphere as people come in. So we might start with more trivial questions. We're sitting down at first, and as we're building towards, and we have a DJ as well, building towards the kickoff, the excitement and the things that the activations become bigger and grander, and then we lead to some kind of fireworks, and then just kick off, and then we're ready to go. But the pre-match, we get them. I do the most work at pre-match because I would say outside of, so for instance, in Canada, the BMO Field for the CONCACAF Gold Cup match, it was an hour before kickoff, so there wasn't much time to do things. At these tournaments, there's 2-3 hours. I would say, sorry, 2 hours. Doors
Okay.
gates open 3 hours, and 2 hours before that, We're doing a whole bunch of stuff. Halftime, basically we're doing an incredible. I might do a little bit of a performance, or we have um, a, a, a song we'll play, and we'll have everyone bring out the cell phone lights, and we'll do some activities with hands up, hands down. We'll do some kind of fun activities with the fans, and then we go with the DJ, and we kind of go back and forth. We basically do a halftime show for maybe 10 minutes or so, and then we're back to the game. So my job is basically the best job in the world, because everyone else on my team, they're working right through the match. I just do the post match. I do the halftime. So that means I'm pitch side for to watch this incredible football all the time, and then I just get up at halftime and I work before the match. But yeah, no, it's incredible.
That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah, that's
All
a
right.
pretty good gig. I mean, you don't even need to like do any full-blown reporting of like injuries or anything like that. You're like just on call for when there's downtime, and we're like, all right, we need Najjah to like turn up the energy,
That's
and boom,
correct.
you just improvise. That's
That's
sweet.
right. Then you
Just
hear zoom, zoom, zoom. Once you hear zoom, 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 then I'm getting ready to rock and roll. But it's amazing, the Ole chants. Then you get to hear the different chants from different countries and clubs, and it's just amazing. But the power, it's so special. Like the energy in these stadiums, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80,000. I just did Lusail Stadium, 86,000 people. I mean, it is unbelievable. And what's crazy on that side of the world, I mean, they're not even drinking. I'm like, yo,
right.
you guys aren't even drinking, and this is like, I'm like, wow, like it's unbelievable, man. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Mike and I have been to Lusail Stadium, and we actually sat pretty low, and we felt like ants. Well, or
Yeah.
let me switch that. We looked up to the nosebleeds, and they looked like ants. They were
Right,
so
right,
far
right.
away. Yeah.
So hold on, you guys were at
And
the
then
World Cup final, or where were you guys at? You guys came to the World Cup?
we were at World Cup 2022 in Qatar, and I think we attended the Brazil Cameroon game, the third Group G group game for both teams. So
That
Okay.
was our only match we got to at Lusail. But I think we saw you for the first time for the opening ceremony, right?
No,
at
I
the
was
Women's
I
World
was
Cup.
at the Women's
No,
World Cup. Men's
at,
World Cup.
at women's. Oh, right.
Right. No, the Men's World Cup, I mean, that was gutting for me. I got there and I got so sick. I'd never been so sick in my life. So I actually did not host the first match. My first match was Argentina versus Saudi Arabia, which was a
Oh,
blockbuster
That's a
match.
great match.
As you know, I mean, it was crazy. These guys were offside by like a millisecond, you know what I mean, just bare by a hair, and 3-4 times they're offside in the first half, and they
yeah.
call back the goals, and then Saudi comes and gives them their only defeat of the World Cup. But yeah, no, I did not do the opening ceremonies.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we were all at World Cup 2022. Najjah, we now know that you were hosting the Asian Cup 2023. It was labeled, even though it actually happened in 2024.
Yeah.
So you've been to Qatar. It sounds like more than twice now, a few times. My question though is, what was different this time compared to the World Cup? And what was the same, I guess. I think a lot of our listeners who have been to Qatar for World Cup 2022 are kind of curious, like, well, are they even using the stadiums anymore? Like, what's the
Right.
infrastructure like? Like,
Yeah.
did the bid for that World Cup make any sense after the fact because it's still being used? I don't know. What's it like over there now, a year plus on?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So, I mean, and obviously you do these things, they expect to see a upturn in people coming to the country and so forth. So number one, I mean, you just cannot beat the energy of the World Cup, right? So, I mean, the energy, the amount of people there, it was just, as you guys know, it was unbelievable. So there was so much people there for that. The Asian Cup was still a tournament, but just not a top tier from that standpoint naturally, right? So, but the countries that came, they're boisterous and they were incredible from that standpoint. But overall, I would say the energy was not the same. For us, it was weird going into these stadiums. Like you're going into Lusail Stadium where I saw Mbappe versus Messi, and now I'm just doing Jordan versus thing. And God bless everybody, but it just took a second to say, okay, this is something different, and then let's buy into it because it really is special for them, and it became really fun. So the overall in terms of the actual country, um, there wasn't as much people on ground. I mean, I've been there 3 or 4 times now because I also went for the Club World Cup when Liverpool won it as
Okay.
well. And I would say that they're just looking to continue to build their infrastructure and get more things going. So from that standpoint, it was becoming more westernized from even the last time we went for the World Cup from that standpoint. But I mean, you can't beat the World Cup,
Gotcha.
from that
Okay.
standpoint. Yeah.
So maybe a little more progress as just time goes on and they continue to host tournaments and
Right.
yeah.
So I mean, they're still getting that down, but as you know, there was controversy around the World Cup and the stadium. So to answer your question about the stadiums,
Hmm.
the the majority of the stadiums were still there. I know they did package and box down and sell some of the stuff to other places, or repurpose them as well. So which was interesting because they spent some crazy money on some of these stadiums, and to just tear them down and stuff like that after is pretty crazy. But they did do that with a couple of them. So
Okay.
to sell.
So
So
have they then actually started to break down Stadium 974? I know that one
oh, yeah,
was
you remember
very
that one? You remember 974, eh? Yeah. So they have
yeah.
974 of those.
Shipping
900,000
Shipping
something.
containers.
crates.
Yeah, shipping crates. It was and it's their area code as well. But no, that one
Right.
that one was still there. That one was still there. So
Oh,
Oh,
interesting. I thought that was going to be the first one to get repurposed, but
right,
that's still
no, that one was still there when I saw it there. So
okay.
interesting.
yeah.
So you kind of mentioned this, but I want to get your thoughts on it. Like, how did you feel about that Qatar 2022 World Cup hosting scandal? Sort of like, how they got the bid or justification of what they're doing with stadiums and how the stadiums are built. Like, do you have any thoughts on that? I know that obviously you've been there multiple times, and it's something that you you work in that country. So I'm not trying to ask for you to out
No, I
yourself,
mean,
but
no, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, it's one of those things where, you come from North America or you're expat or you come there, you do get there is a difference, in treatment from that standpoint. Hearing these stories, I don't know exactly what is true, but I mean, what those type of working conditions are keeping anybody, under, keeping their passport or not having them letting go, or all these stories that we're hearing. I mean, that would be unfortunate. If that was my family, I mean, I would be very, very upset about it if these things hold true. So, I mean, there was a lot of stuff around that. And then, of course, there was the stuff with, you know, um, the LGBT community and so forth, and so yeah, there was a lot of things, surrounding this World Cup, and took was almost taking away from what we're here to celebrate. So that was a bit unfortunate from that standpoint. But I mean, at the end of the day, like for instance, they did take away the alcohol fairly close to for the tournament, and I know a lot of people are bummed out about that. But I truly felt they had to, I truly felt there was an incredible vibe regardless. And I had a fantastic time there. So I think everything's a learning process and growing process. Saudis now, for instance, they're actually looking to bring alcohol into Saudi Arabia, which is amazing. Like in the sense of understanding and growing and trying to be consistent across the board with the Western world and so forth, to have people coming. So everything a learning process and a growing process, and the younger generations coming up, they kind of see the world in a different light because it is truly a global village. And from that
Mhm.
standpoint, I think things are getting better, because when I went back, I felt like you could see things getting better too.
yeah.
Okay.
Can
Okay.
I ask real quick? Have Prior to the men's 2022 World Cup in Qatar, have you been to any other men's World Cups?
No, I have not. I was supposed to do
Okay.
the 2018 in Russia, and I
Oh
didn't
wow.
do that, man, because my first gig with FIFA was the FIFA Club World Cup in 2017. So I got to see Zinedine Zidane, Gareth Bale, Cristiano
Oh, wow.
Ronaldo, and it was like, what am I doing here? This is
Wow.
crazy, you know?
That's
And
wild.
yeah, it was wild, 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 wild. So, and then it was a chance of us going to Russia, but I had not gone to that or gone to Brazil in 2014 or anything like that. So have you guys been to any other World Cups?
We
So
have.
yeah,
Yeah.
we started our World Cup journey in 2010 in South Africa, and then we did Brazil. Yeah, Colin's moving the flag over, so you'll see
Jeez, yo, look, put some
2013
respect
Brazil.
on it, baby. Oh, nice,
But this is a
brilliant.
this is
Yeah.
a good transition to our next question, which is we went to our first Women's World Cup last year in 2023 in Australia, New Zealand. So, and we know that you were there. And so what and who excited you the most about that last World Cup, the Women's World Cup? Give us what your highlights of that tourney was.
My highlights of that tournament was really seeing first of all the growth. I mean, well, first of all, it's always good when the host nation does very well. So Australia,
Right.
it really gives more fuel to the tournament in the country. I mean, I was in New Zealand for the majority of the tournament, and then I came over to Australia for the finals. But the storylines with teams like Jamaica or any of the smaller teams that were able to get through for the first time past the group stage was really beautiful. Some teams that didn't have budgets and different so forth. I mean, really powerful. And then that was my second World Cup because I did the first World Cup and my first Women's World Cup I did in France in 2019. And
Cool.
I just got a huge respect for the women's game in 2019. I was like, wow, these girls could ball. And then you're just seeing the way that it's grown around the world. So for me, in going to New Zealand, first of all, going to a new countries. I've never been to New Zealand, never been to Australia. It's always mind blowing when you get to go to these places, and then to see, the support for the women's game at this magnitude it's just very powerful. I have a little daughter, and I was like, I got her kicking soccer balls right now. I'm like, listen, we got to get this. But I mean, the storylines there were really amazing. A little bit of drama in terms of teams that were supposed to go forward, that didn't go forward, and seeing the little ones succeed was really really powerful for me.
That's awesome. Yeah. Did you come away with any favorite players? Linda
Yes.
Caicedo comes to mind for me. Like, I didn't know who she was before the
Oh
tournament, and
yeah,
then all of a
yeah, from
sudden,
Colombia. Oh my gosh,
yeah,
yeah, she was
um,
unbelievable. Her and McCabe for Ireland. I mean, she was
yeah,
awesome. What's the Sweden's goalkeeper?
yeah.
She got
Oh
the.
yeah,
I'm trying to
she was
remember.
unreal.
Yeah, she was.
She plays for
Actually
Chelsea. I
try to
know that.
forget her name
Yeah,
as a
Americans are trying
USA
to forget her
fan.
name.
Oh yeah, man. Listen. Oh, you're USA man. Say less, man. Unbelievable. Well, US in 2019 were just a force, and from the first game in 2023, I could see that they just didn't have those gears. I mean, some of the players were just not at that same level because in
Yeah.
2019 there was nothing stopping them. It was unbelievable. But yeah, Caicedo. Yeah, baby. Nice,
Just
nice.
taking a
Yeah,
sip
no.
from my Coke cup from the final. Yeah.
Yeah, that was brilliant, man. No, no, no. It was an amazing. It was. I mean, I to see England and Spain in the final. It would have been amazing to see Australia go a bit further. But that final, that Spanish squad was, it was a tightly contested match, and they were able to get across the line with that. And
Yeah.
congratulations to them,
Uh,
Espanol.
Sí, yeah. Muy,
Sí.
qué bueno.
Qué bueno, señor. Yes.
You mentioned, just like that positive energy around the last Women's World Cup and, kind of seeing the youngsters get really excited about the game and just the energy about women's soccer and the growth of that. And I also found it super exciting.
I mean, yeah, I was just going to
You,
say something very quickly, Colin. Yeah, another
yeah,
thing is it's a different atmosphere at the women's games than it is the men's. In the sense, it seems to be it's a bit more family oriented, and so it's special in its own way. So I mean, it was really nice to see that it's just a different gear. The fifth gear obviously with the men's World Cup, and maybe it's a
yeah,
fourth or third gear, but a very special atmosphere. More families are coming out and little kids and so forth. But it just feels a little different, but it was really special.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I was going to say, just knowing you now as we do and observing you in your form, you yourself bring a really positive, incredible energy, your vibes. You're just kind of known for that, it seems. Um, I'd say you have a very positive outlook on life just in general. If I had to, if someone asked me about Najjah and my take on him, I want to
Yeah.
ask, where do you get this positivity and this attitude? Like, how do you draw your energy? How do you keep it going? I love it.
I don't, is it? I mean, I'm truly a love bug. I'm a very, I just truly love people. And what is so mind blowing, and what the best thing about my job is, as much as I love the game, is the people I meet, the fans. I just from my standpoint, I just always just love people and the energy I have. I mean, I've always played sports and so forth, but I mean, everyone always says, "Nah, you got a lot of energy." I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And I truly, I love being present and feel grateful for everything. Me personally, especially right now, on a side note, from a personal standpoint. I mean, I'm 3 years and 11 or 10 months sober, and it's just been an amazing journey to see things change. Even my my colleagues, they see the way I've changed on that standpoint. So I'm just grateful for so many things. And I just, for me to love, I come from a music background. I always love soccer, I love football. For me to be doing this job, I just can't take it for granted. It is something that is truly mind blowing to me till this day. A kid from Canada traveling around the world with this, and it just lights me up, man. And people
I love
truly
that.
like me. I love people, and you see so much news and it's this, that, and that, negative stuff. But when you get out there in the world, it's like, wow. When people are like, oh, you're going to Saudi, be careful. This, or you're going here, and it's
Mhm.
amazing. Tokyo, these places, it's just amazing to see these people. And for me personally, I've just always had a positive outlook, maybe from my father as well. But yeah, I mean, the energy I can't explain. My mom says she thinks she ate something wrong when she was having me. I was like, what are you trying to say,
Okay.
Mom? What you trying
Or
to
something
say?
awesome. Yeah.
Or something, yeah, not
Yeah,
wrong, something great.
yeah, you
Everyone loves
know what I'm saying?
It's like that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, like green ooze, it just
it.
Yeah, yeah,
just makes you something special. Um,
yeah.
you've you mentioned it, and then we actually kind of mentioned it earlier when we talked about alcohol not being present at the 2022 World Cup. I want to ask, and I'll preface by saying I'm asking because I have actually tried to do my best. I haven't been perfect, but do my best lately to live a fairly alcohol-free lifestyle. Um,
Right.
and honestly, as a footy fan, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, man.
um,
I,
right? So
I can imagine.
yeah,
100,000%, man. You got to enjoy the
yeah,
game. You want to enjoy the atmosphere. It's a part of
yeah.
that. It's that secret sauce that just makes you, it helps to liberate your soul, And I
Totally,
get it. I
totally.
totally get it. And it's a huge social thing, right? So, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Well, I wanna ask you personally, and then maybe for any other listeners, who might feel overwhelmed maybe by how prevalent alcohol is, not just in soccer fan culture, but sports fan culture in general. I mean, do you have any tips or insights, for those kind of people who are just trying to balance maybe less alcohol and drinking, but still like being a crazy sports fan or soccer fan? I don't know.
right.
And
Yeah, I
having that
mean,
energy that you have, right? Like your charisma and like that energy sometimes only comes out for some people that after they kind of have a little bit of that just to sort of lose the inhibitions, feel a little bit more confident or courageous. But you don't need that, right? You've already proven that you don't need the alcohol. So how do you do it?
well, yeah, I mean, but the funny thing is, I thought I needed it. Like I was like, oh, they got Najjah. I think you got a problem with drinking. I'm like, but I need it for this, and it was amazing. I just felt so liberated. But so to answer that question, I mean, for starting with a healthy lifestyle, and you start to tune into that more, you notice you're getting endorphins released in a different way, and it's just something like the best way to explain it is going from a BlackBerry or a smaller initially. If you don't have a problem like I had a problem, if I had a problem like me, then the only thing that's gonna stop is you're gonna have to get help through AA or something like that, some kind of spiritual program. But if you're someone who just wants to draw back on it, it's gonna be something where there's gonna be a little bit of an awkward, like when you get a different phone. Like I remember, like my phone is huge right now. I remember I had a smaller phone, and holding it when I got the new phone, I'm like, this feels so big. Now it's like, it's no problem. But initially, that initial stage, I mean, that if you through a healthy lifestyle and working out and doing different things like that, that you tend to start to not want to wake up feeling ham, because it's when you wake up the next day and you're like, oh boy, you know what I mean. So it just depends on how far you're going, because if you're just having a couple drinks and you're enjoying the match, and then that's fine. I mean, I really don't see anything wrong with that. You know what I mean? It's when it becomes a problem where after the match, now you're going on a bender, and then the next morning you wake up and you're like, oh my goodness, or you're doing things irresponsibly. You wake up and your budget's gone or whatever, and there's chaos. Then there's the reason to curtail it. But to be honest, if it's not that problem, then I would say go ahead, enjoy a couple of beverages. But for people who are having an issue, or who I think they really do have an issue, anyone out there listening who thinks they really do have an issue, there is help available out there. It's just something where, for me, it was my ego. I was like, I mean, I could do anything. I could handle. I'm just gonna have two drinks tonight, and
Right.
two drinks will turn into 12, or and then I'll start again, or I'll say I'm just gonna have wine, or I'm just gonna have, so yeah, I mean, for people like me who truly have an addiction problem, there's no middle ground. So anyone out there, if you think if your gut instinct's telling you have a problem, I would, look into it more. And I want them most importantly to know that it's not you. You don't have a willpower. It's not about your willpower or anything like that. It truly is a disease, right? So I don't want people to think, oh, there's something wrong with them or this, that. If someone had, if they're allergic to peanuts, no one's going to give you a problem for it. But I mean, if I'm allergic to alcohol, I drink alcohol, and then, woo, you want to see me on the alcohol. Oh, my goodness.
Sure,
right?
boy.
Right?
Can you handle it?
Yeah. So shout out to everybody out there who might be thinking they have a problem with alcohol. If you do, you know what I mean? My thoughts and prayers are with you, and there is help available. For me, it's not a self-help program, and I need to go and get help. So, yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. We'll probably leave some notes or something in the show notes, maybe for people to take a look at if they're looking for help.
But just one more thing though, Carter. One more thing for you. I mean, if you're having some fun drinking, you're drinking and watching the game, or it's more about your fitness. If you're looking to get healthy and you kind of wean it out, and all of a sudden you're like, I just don't need it. I really don't need it as much, So yeah. I mean, it just depends on your pace and what you're looking at, right?
Well, I mean, I'll kind of feed off of you sharing a little bit about yourself. And personally, I have a fair amount of alcoholism in my family historically, and it's always been something too. I've tried to keep an eye on, keep a watch on. But for me, right now in my life, later 30s, the health and the recovery and the fitness is just becoming more of an effort.
Mm-hmm.
I really have to try.
Yes.
And I've just gotten to the point where I really value and appreciate waking up and feeling good to go. I'm just not having to worry about hangovers or headaches or stomach aches or just, being tired. So yeah, the fitness thing itself is just, enough for me. And anyway, I don't know, Mike, it's just some space for you if you have any reactions as well.
I mean, this is something I continually am trying to find the appropriate balance. I know that there's elements of the social component, I think, is the biggest thing for me. And Colin and I joke about it a lot, where there's been several instances where we were at matches and just having like the best time ever and a massive win for whoever we're there to watch. And I just like get snowballed into this avalanche of energy and like just get caught up in the momentum of it
100%.
all. And like, that's just who I am. And I would say like my addiction is often on the adrenaline, not on the drug. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And so like, if I can just carry on that adrenaline, then usually that's where I'm going to be like in my sweet spot, because again, I don't want to wake up and feel awful, and no, I don't think anyone wants to. And so it's just a matter of like always catching myself being like, all right, I'm at a good place. I need to maybe chill out and like calm down, or maybe I just don't even venture down that road today. And so it's just like every person's different, and every person's got an approach to it. And a healthy lifestyle is something that I think both Colin and I are very passionate about. We care about our bodies and want to be able to do everything that we want to do, especially as we get older, when we know that sometimes the body doesn't want you to do everything that you used to be able to do.
Just can't do it, bro. Just can't do it. You can't do it. And you have more wisdom too. Like you kind of know, like, okay, I'm starting to go away right now, where I'm gonna have to tap out right now, And when you're younger, it's like, yo, balls to the wall, let's go, baby. You know what I mean? And so we got the wisdom now, and we're a bit older, and so man, salute to that, kudos to that, man.
No, I think it's very powerful for you to be able to be comfortably sharing that and be self-reflecting in the fact that like, it was an ego thing for you. And I think a lot of people are just sort of in that same area where it's kind of like, what is really motivating me to do this? And can I ask myself these, harder questions? And I think that's super important, especially in instances where it's like, people that do football, travel for football, as we call them, fellow footy travelers. That social
that's
element.
Huge. That's a huge part. Huge. Like I run into these guys that come and sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No. It's just like, we know that that's part of that fan culture, but we also have met a lot of really amazing people that are like, I don't need that. There are some people that are also incredibly like hypersensitive to certain components of, you know, fan culture or, you know, security and things like that. And so that is a area that they have to protect themselves in from a mental health perspective, but still want to go enjoy the game. Right.
Right.
Like some people that are very fearful of large crowds, but they're like, but I love the
Oh,
atmosphere.
wow. Right.
And so it's like there's
Interesting.
these really interesting dynamics around that mental health component of it. And I think that's part of what we're trying to do here is like, there is no one way to be a fan. Right?
No
There's
right way. Yeah.
or right way. Yeah, no correct
Right.
way. And the only way that we kind of classify being on the good side of it is like part of our motto is like be loud, be proud, and be good to each other. Like if at the end of the day you can be those three things, then I'd classify you as being a pretty good fan and we want to meet you.
And
And
just
you know
a good
what?
human
It's
being.
interesting. Yeah, no, but you know what? It's interesting because when we do countries, it's not as not I want to say barbaric. I'm trying to scare people, but when it's clubs, when clubs come together, it's a bit more rivalry. Like, you know, it's a bit more tense from that standpoint. Obviously, you have your, you know, certain sections of the stadium where, you know, the hardcore supporters are going to be. But yeah, I mean, overall though, I've been lucky. I haven't seen anything crazy or anything like that where, you know, fights are breaking out or anything like that. So I've just felt like love from everybody from that standpoint. Sometimes people are a little too intense and you can see them have a bit too much drink or whatever the case may be. But I mean, for the most part, it's been a brilliant atmosphere with the fans, like you said, loud and proud, but respectful that, hey man, this is you, that's that's your badge. This is my badge. But yo, we both love this game and, you know, I want you to lose. I'll let you know that. But yeah, but it's all good, you know?
Yeah. Yep. I respect that. And, you know, as someone that brings a lot of positive energy, they typically surround themselves with positive energy or they receive it, right? If you're giving it, you often receive it in return. And so
True.
I think that's a key element in any situation when you're meeting new people. And in your job, you have to meet a lot of new people.
Yes.
And with that being said, I'm interested in kind of knowing a little bit about where you've been. Where has football taken you in terms of countries? Like this is a travel podcast, right? So
Right.
what countries have you been to as whether it's in this role that we've just been talking about or just in general, how has soccer brought you to these
Various
places and
places.
how many are there? Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I would say that the Middle East has been a big target for me in terms of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, United Arab Emirates. Been to Tokyo a couple of times, or Japan a couple of times, which was amazing. Oh God, Tokyo is so amazing. I did. I got booed so bad. I've never been booed so much.
Oh, what?
Like
No
booed like
way.
so much. Really quickly. So in 2019, I did the AFC Asian Champions League match. So it was Urawa Reds versus what did Javinko play for? My goodness, who's Al Hilal for
Okay.
in Saudi Arabia. So, anyways, long story short, I did the 2019. Went to it was a place called Saitama just outside of Tokyo. Anyways, long story short, went there and we had a great time. It was unbelievable. The fans are nuts in Japan, like nuts, you know, like that, and it was incredible. But they lost. So then I had to come back for the Champions League again, and they associated me with bad luck. So they were telling me before.
Oh.
They're telling me before I even got there. They're like, "Yo, don't come, no come to thing." Whenever I was like, "Yo, man," I was like telling my mom, like, "I don't think they should be coming to this one." He's like, "No, don't worry about it." And as soon as it come in the mic, it was raining on me. So you don't have to do like the wrestling thing, like you're just having fun with it.
Right.
Because if you're not having fun, yeah, exactly, Colin. If you're not having fun with it, then what are you gonna do? But it was like
They're gonna eat you alive.
yeah, they wanted to eat me alive. So I mean, I literally only did like 2 or 3 live hits at the beginning, and then they said, "You know what, Naj, we can't have you." So I went there and I couldn't even do anything. It was nuts. But after
So they pulled it. So after that fan reaction, they decided like that's actually not a good idea. We want to take you out.
yeah, they're like, Naj, you know, we don't really want them booing at their own Champions League match. You know what I mean? So you can just sit this one out. You know what I mean, kind of thing. And then. And I've gotten so much, like, you know, like with Beyonce, you say something about Beyonce, the beehive just goes zzz, and they just go on you, they attack you on socially, right? So they were attacking me socially at the beginning before I got there. But then the magical thing, because it's just football, and that's why I love football, it's so beautiful. They won, And they said, okay, Najjah, you could come now. You know, we love you. This, that.
Uh, you
Yeah.
you are
Winning
forgiven.
fixes everything.
Yeah, you are not the bad luck. It's okay. We won. You're good. So, anyways, yeah, Tokyo. That's a segue. Lithuania, which was different. It was like
Well,
I forget what I forget what movie they shot there, but it was very like dark and grungy. I went there for the futsal World Cup, and it was interesting because it's a basketball country, so you know they weren't
right.
really, you know, it's super excited about futsal. But I mean, it was wonderful to meet the people and see the place and the history of it. France, I'd never been to France before, which was brilliant. Viennese, Paris, Lyon. I did PSG Stadium. I did some really cool stadiums over there, which was nuts. Oh my goodness. And I mean, all over North America. I mean, all over the U.S. I mean, in terms of like Dallas Cowboy Stadium, which was nuts, Arlington, Texas, you know, Nashville, Tennessee, Chicago Bear Stadium, Soldier Field. I performed there halftime of one of the games. But where else? Oh, Grenada.
Anything in
And I think
South America?
Grenada.
Yeah, Central.
Yeah.
No, I've not been to Arrente. I want to buy La Samba. I want to go, but I haven't gone there, bro. I need to go, and I can't. I have to go. I mean, I want to go see a match there. I mean, never mind, see
Yeah.
River Plate or see anybody. Can you imagine over there?
We've been aching for some Super Classico, Bombonera, or River Plate Monumental
Yeah.
games. Yeah.
Yeah, baby. Can you imagine the energy in those places? So South America, I have not been to South America. That is heavily on the bucket list. But yeah,
Yep.
been awesome
Okay.
so far. You know?
Najjah, tell us about your song "We Are the World." Subtitle "Rep Your Country." Yeah, we mentioned you were a musical artist a little bit, and what inspired that song? What was it like producing the video? We'll leave a link for that video in the show notes too. But yeah, tell us about that.
You know what? I've been doing, I came from the music, a little background, toured with the Black Eyed Peas, and then the band I was with before imploded and so forth. And so I always wanted to do a little bit of music, but my real talent was hosting, or, you know, that was the bigger talent, I would say. And anyways, knowing that we were going to do the World Cup in Qatar, I was just like, holy smokes, this is crazy. I would like to do a fan appreciation song for them. And through that process, I just called up this guy named Murray Daigle. Shout out to Murray Daigle, MDS Studios. And I said, I want to make a song. I have this melody kind of thing that I'm kind of working on, and I would like to go ahead and do that. So we went and shot it. I went in one day, and you know, had the lyrics. Went to do the song. Didn't really like the initial beat. Then I switched the beat up. Then we found the beat we wanted to use, and we submitted it to in Qatar. And then I was sick at the very beginning, so I wasn't in my mindset to get the song out to let everybody know about it. Because I got really sick, and it was just about it. And then
Right.
I was going there with a guy named Brendan Dunlap. Guy works on Sportsnet here in Toronto. Used to, about another personality, and he asked me to hear the song, and then he said you should really try and get this out there. So lo and behold, I sent it to the DJs. DJs loved it, and they started playing it in the stadiums, which was pretty crazy. And
Wow.
you know, it ended up getting up to the point where I was supposed to perform it at the World Cup final, which would have been a dream. I'll talk about that story in a second.
Oh
Because
my
that was
God.
heartbreak hotel for me, because it was a last minute cancellation. But I was supposed to do 1 minute and 30 seconds of that song. But the song itself, I just wanted something. I felt I've been touring. Let me feel like touring. Well, yeah, I've been going around the world,
Yeah.
you know, to engaged in all these things, these Club World Cups, these Women's World Cups and stuff. And I just felt a great energy from everybody. And I just felt I wanted something reflective of that. Rep your country, wave your flag. We are the world. We are the world as one every time we come together for football. I mean, the song was well received, and I got a chance to perform that very same song at I think it was U.S. or was it? I can't remember who it was, but it was at Soldier Field in Chicago, which was pretty awesome. They asked me to perform that song, and I performed it in San Diego at Snapdragon Stadium for another thing as well. But having the song played at the World Cup, and I wasn't even at the stadiums, and DJs were playing it, was pretty cool.
Okay, so we would have heard that song at World Cup 2022. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. You would have heard the song, the version I have. You would have heard it if you past the round of 16, because that's when I kind of was like, whoa. This is also a good opportunity to get this. I did the song. I might as well, you know, get it out there. And so from the round of 16 on, you know, the DJs were playing that song in the lead up to the match and the pre-match.
Okay.
You know,
Wow.
Sick.
so It was pretty
So
cool.
then what happened? What happened with the final where it didn't play?
Oh my gosh, why did you talk about this, Colin and Mike? So this is crazy. Listen to this. So unbelievably, we get ready for rehearsals and a whole bunch of things before the final, because there's a whole closing ceremonies and a whole bunch of stuff, and we kind of go through ideas on the cue sheet of what we want to do. We go in there, we're at the round table, everyone pitch an idea. Long story short, the head of infotainment said, Naj, your song's been getting good reviews. People are really liking it. You know what? I think we should get you to perform a snippet of it at the final. And I'm like, you're gonna do this to me now? I'm like, so part of me was like, this is amazing. Part of me is like, oh my God, like my heart's thumping, because it's not like, so as an artist, if you're in a band or you're doing something, you're performing all the time, you're able to, deliver. And this is a massive opportunity, and you're telling me I haven't done anything for other matches. I haven't really performed or done anything in a while, and now you're like, you're going to perform at the World Cup finals. What? You know what I mean? Right? But at the same time, you have to be like, well, God's giving you this opportunity. What the fuck? Let's go. Let's just see what's up. So he's like, so we're going to rehearse this thing here. We're going to go through all our segments, and that's going to be one of the segments. Give the DJ, do you have an instrumental or TV mix of it? Let's get it to him, and we're gonna rehearse it. So Colin and Mike, I shit you not, I'm in Lucille Stadium. They have like the DJ booth there, and they have these panels and these lights and all stuff. I start off on the top of the DJ booth with the DJ. He plays it, and I start off at the top. Can nobody stop the way? And I start doing my thing, and then hop off. And then you're seeing the ribbons around Lucille Stadium, and it's like, so they're doing this whole light thing, and it's looking cool. I'm like, holy smokes, right? And so basically I do one verse, and then I'd go to the chorus, and then after the chorus, it would just be the instrumental. I'd say, okay, everybody, let's get ready for the work. Where my fans from Argentina? Something, and then they just fade it out. So it'd be a verse, chorus. That's all I had to do. The verse, a chorus, and then, but wow. So I was super excited. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, right? So yeah. Now we're like, we're doing this thing, and he's like, this is a thing. Everyone's like, you know what? We like, because you have to audition. It's not just like you do it. So they want to approve it. They said, okay, this is great. Let's do it. So now it's like, holy smokes, I'm having butterflies. I'm out on the outside. I'm like, yeah, man, let's do this. But inside, I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then we get to the World Cup finals. There's so much people there. We have an organic flow to our stuff, so you can call audibles at the line to use American football technology a terminology. Nice. But in the sense that if we see something that's really good, we're gonna go to it and try and play off it, and then still get it. There's certain hits that we have to do, and certain things we're gonna try and roll off of. So long and short of it is, we're getting some shots, and I was stuck on another side of the stadium. And I was trying to make my way back. I couldn't make my way back in time. And essentially, it was one of those things where they said, I might be able to get you in. And then they said, there's a visa activation that we have to get in. We have to get this visa activation in. So
corporate sponsor.
Right? So he's like, Naj, I'm so sorry. You're not going to be able to do it. So I was like, oh, my God. So now, this is the World Cup finals. The game starts, and I'm gutted. I'm crushed at this moment, because the adrenaline and the nervous that leader, because the whole time I'm thinking I'm doing everything up, but all I'm thinking is, oh my God, like, you look at the stands, and it's, everybody who's everybody's there, and by the way, I met my boy Roy Keane up there, Ian Wrighty up there, but anyways, that's another story. But so I'm just gutted for the first 5 minutes, and the game starts out bang. As Argentina steps out, 1-0 lead early. And then I'm thinking to myself, Najjah, just calm down. Listen, you are at the World Cup finals. Forget about that. So it just took me a second to just, register that and compartmentalize that, that big letdown, and then go and start watching the match. Then I get a call, because we have our in-ears, right? We get a thing on my in-ears. Lance is like, oh, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to try and do you at halftime, after the main performance, about 2 minutes, 2 minutes before the teams come back on. We're going to have you, let's try and get you to do that same minute and a half, and then say, let's get ready for the second half. So I got the message, the thing. My DJ, something was wrong with his comms. He didn't hear it. So as I'm doing the regular halftime stuff that we have to do, and then we pass it on, I'm running back to the DJ booth. I jump on top of the DJ booth. He's looking at me. Yo, man, this is amazing. I'm like, yeah, this is amazing. I'm thinking he knows what's about to happen. All I'm hearing in my ears is, all right, 10 seconds, 10, 9. I'm like, you ready? And he's like, what? I'm like, you got to get the song. Get the song. He's like, what are you talking about? He didn't hear it. Then all of a sudden, he didn't play the music. And then again, so it was 2 times I was supposed to do this. So then I was like, oh my God. So then he just said, Najjah, just say, welcome the teams back. Get the crowd, do something, and just get the crowd ready for the second half. And I was like, all right, guys, get ready for the second half.
No.
Yeah, and then it was 2 letdowns from that standpoint.
Like double gut punch.
Yeah,
Yikes.
double gut punch.
And then you still gotta be in your positive, like high energy, and it's like you're just like, man, I keep getting beat down, and then I gotta like bring
I'm just like, where are my fans of Argentina? Where are my fans of France? Let's get ready for the second half. And then the team started walking onto the pitch. But at the end of the day, I mean, it was such an incredible final. At that point, I'd already told myself from the first time, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. And to be fair, like, I wanted more time. I was nervous about it. You know what I mean? But it was like, it was an opportunity that was this close to happening. I could have said I performed at a World Cup final, like not the Super Bowl final, the World Cup final. That is crazy. And
dude, you do perform. Like,
that's true.
Don't get it twisted. You do perform. Granted, you didn't get to perform something that is fully produced in something that you've birthed and created, but like you are a performer and you have performed at the final. You just didn't get to do that song.
Yes. No, you're right. And that's what that's what I was telling myself, because I was like, you're here I'm looking right there. Messi's right in front of me. And like, I'm seeing Dybala. Like, I love Dybala. He's on the bench, right? But I mean, I'm just like, I'm watching all these players and you already know. So it was just like, I just snapped back into it. And I just got really present because it was such a wonderful and incredible match. The most beautiful, so many storylines in that game. So I just said, it was fantastic and I had a fantastic time. But I was still like, after the match, I was like, wow, that almost, I was so close. Because it was literally like you're hearing in your ear 10, 9, 8. And I'm looking at my DJ, I'm like, Grayson, you ready? He's like, what's going on? Then it was one of those ones, right? So, anyways.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wasn't meant to be.
We talked a little bit about Toronto already. We know that World Cup 2026 is going to be hosted in Toronto. It's one of the host cities. Why should fellow footy travelers consider a visit during that tournament? What would be your top tips for someone coming into Toronto for a visit?
Well, first and foremost, I mean, we are one of the best cultural melting pots in the world. All right, from where I place up, and it's amazing that you have so much diversity. So from that standpoint, and this is going to be in the summertime, guys, so you don't have to worry about any of that. You come into Toronto in the summertime. I mean, downtown is just extremely vibrant. For me, if I'm coming to Toronto during that time, there's going to be obviously FIFA activations. This is going to be the biggest World Cup ever. So they're looking to put on bigger and better than anything ever before. So in terms of everything you kind of saw at Qatar, it's just going to be, I'm sorry to say, but not sorry, but it's just going to be on such a much grander, from an entertainment value, a lot bigger and grander. The actual, the streets, the love of the fans and everybody in the streets, I think it's going to be on a level that's going to be, I mean, I'm just picturing the energy here. But are you talking about actual places to go, like in terms of going to CN Tower, the typical, go down by in what sense do you mean coming to Toronto?
Just like anyone, I've never been to Toronto, so I'm like,
okay,
I want some tips, man.
Okay, well, I mean, shoot, man. I mean, there's so much stuff that they put up for you when you come. That in terms of entertainment. It's so much things you could do. Like it's going to be just mind blowing from that standpoint. But in terms of place you want to go, go check out something like the CN Tower. You're going to want to check out the nightclub scene is incredible. People want to party. We definitely know what we're doing there. A+. I believe me, I got my stripes. I'm a decorated soldier there. In terms of family places, I mean, you want to go to Canada's Wonderland. It's incredible from a family standpoint, bringing the family over. Our zoo is incredible. I mean, there's some stuff that's on the side that you might want to just check out that would be really cool to do beyond soccer. I mean, it's just like any major city, you're going to have a lot of things to do. We are a major city. We call it the Six for a reason.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can't really pinpoint one particular thing because, I mean, literally, if you talk about you want to go to art, if you're artsy, there's, you're going to go to the Royal Ontario our Science Center. If you want to go, there's so many different factions and facets to Toronto that pick whatever you pick. There's going to be a lot of things you could do there.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah, like really and truthfully. Like, yeah.
We are super excited to be able to. We know we're going to be getting up there, and we're going to just really get to explore a lot of new places, even within our kind of region, right? Like we showed you, we've been to all these different countries for all these international tournaments, and it's like, yeah, it's going to be really exciting to have it hosted in our backyard, and also see a lot of other great places like Toronto and the rest of the three countries. So we're pumped about that.
Yeah, Azteca Stadium. I mean, Mexico is going to be crazy. You already know the U.S. is going to be. You guys know what you're doing when it comes to Showtime. So I mean, it's going to be unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. As you guys are coaching, but
speaking of Showtime, real quick, I gotta ask it because you are like the king of Showtime with these suits that you rock, dude. Like, where are you getting these excellent suits? These style is crazy.
Yeah,
I can't pull
thank
it
you,
off.
man. Yeah, listen, I wish I had. Oh no, did I auction it off yet? Hold on once. I gotta get one thing really. I gotta show you this right here. So this one right here.
Oh,
This is my World Cup Qatar one. This one is just all the teams, as you can see, right, from the World Cup. This was brilliant. I actually just got a white suit, and then we got everything pressed on to it. Every single country from the World Cup in Qatar, the Men's World Cup, absolutely brilliant. But other than that, I mean, when I'm getting these flashy suits, I'm just really just online, or I'm looking. I have one spot. I have a sneaky spot over here in Toronto, and they kind of know what I'm looking for. I'm like, I first went there, and he was like, I want you to try this out. I said, no, it's not bright enough, because I keep thinking, I'm always on big screen in the stadiums, and what's going to pop and allow me to really show myself. So, I mean, I do a lot of sifting and searching, and I have one or two little spots that are great, but I mean, I've also had some really good luck online. I would say 80% of the stuff I've ordered online, I've gotten, because I mean, sometimes when I order it and you don't get it, right? It's like a dud. It's like they ripped you off.
yeah.
But I mean, I see these crazy suits. I'm like, I gotta try. My fiance's like, yo, please don't do this again. I'm like, I gotta see if this is gonna work. I want this so bad. But yeah, no, I really enjoy that part of the branding. Is people look out for me like, yo, where's the pink suit? Where's this suit? And it's just been a part of my overall branding. So I love to dress up too like that. So yeah, no, it's been definitely a fun thing. And
dude, you kill it. It's like it's incredible. I'm like so impressed, and I wish that I could pull some of it off, but maybe I just if you find something good, just like shoot it my way and be like, if you need a second opinion, I'm happy to give you a little bit. I like to say I have a decent, unique suit collection. Colin's seen a few of them himself.
It's pretty fly. Pretty fly.
Yeah,
it's a little flash. It's not like over. It's not your level flash. Like that's different. But
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, you know what it is, right? This is Showtime, so I mean, some of this stuff is probably it's too crazy for me to wear like anywhere else, really. You know what I mean? But
right.
Yeah. But for this,
it's just for the occasion.
Yeah. The occasion calls for it, and it's funny because I started to do that, and then everybody started doing it. So now I got the whole team doing it. So it's really cool because now everyone's like, okay, this is what I got. This is what you wearing today. What you wearing today? So now everyone's trying to one up each other from that aspect. So I'm literally about to go get some new ones right now. I'm like, I was the originator. Now my homie, like Dancing Wayne, he's not playing. He's got the blazer. He's not playing, man. He's coming for my head, man. So listen,
yeah,
I gotta
raise the bar,
step it up.
Yeah, that's what's up. But yeah, no, it's been a very fun thing, and they appreciate it that we we take so much time into looking into how we present ourselves and so forth.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And pride, you're proud of it, and that's important. You got to be proud of it.
yeah. So because with infotainment, it works a lot better with even overall because like when you go, like if you've been to a Premier League match of you, and I haven't, but if that stuff is that's the fluff. They don't really not really into that because they just want to love the game, and I get it. You know what I mean? I love the game too, and we're trying to more westernize it or bring that kind of middle flash to it. There's a little pull and push with that, but yeah, for the most part, I would say 99% of people really appreciate that. That aspect of it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and I think it's a really interesting point to make around like the cultural differences that are happening, and it's sort of slowly, that Western version versus where those collide with other areas that are trying to either expand the game or being more traditional and like lock into what they're used to and not try to convert it over to other new styles. And so I think that modernization of football culture is really fascinating, and we could probably do a whole new episode talking about that.
I mean, we really could, because I mean, at the same time, we want to preserve certain things. Like there's times where we'll tell them, like, we don't want to interrupt this. They have their chance. They know what they want. We're not here to, they're here to have a good time and do. Like, for instance, Flamingo. If Flamingo was at the Club World Cup, I mean, they're not trying to hear me come in the middle of them and like, listen, man. They're like, you want to come join what we're doing, cool, but don't interrupt what we're doing. And when you see you respect that, then the love is reciprocated. So you have to be very sensitive to that as well. But yeah, we could do a whole nother one on that. But
yeah.
All
right. Well, we've taken up too much of your time. You're a busy man. You've got a lot of things cooking, and we are
Mr.
just so
Worldwide.
happy to have you on. Yeah, you are Mr. Worldwide, and we are like so grateful for the time that we've gotten with you, and we're excited to see you out there. I know we're gonna catch you at some future matches for sure, and we gotta link up.
Are you guys going to? I'm going to CONCACAF Champions League in Dallas, March 25th. There's a match. There's a couple. No, there's semifinals. I forget what it is, but there's some CONCACAF stuff going on. I'm going to Dallas next month, which is going to be crazy. But wherever, somehow, now that we see each other virtually, I would love to link up with you guys. For show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
If I see you in the stadium, I'm getting you. Like, I'm interviewing you guys straight up, yo. Footy Travelers.
Oh yeah,
we're there for it.
Yeah.
Love that.
You'll look for the jerseys. We'll wear the jerseys.
We'll get you a jersey. You should rock a jersey under the blazer, and
yeah, I'm just like
You don't have anything going on with Gold Cup though, right? Or Copa, excuse me, Copa.
Oh yes.
Nothing
going on. What am I talking about? I'm definitely gonna be at the Copa. So we'll be at the Copa as well. I was just looking into the Olympics. I might be doing some of the Olympics as well, but I'm definitely doing the Copa. The Copa is gonna be crazy. So you guys,
you don't know if you're gonna do something with the Olympics, but you still might.
Yeah, but that's the business, So the people I work with, I did the Pan Am Games with, for instance. They got the bid because it's all about the bids and so forth, and then in terms of timing as well, because I want to do the Copa no matter what. But I mean, I have a little 3-year-old daughter, and she is my world. And so I don't have to disappear for too long anymore. Before it was like, let's go, baby. But now, I pick and choose, right? So. And
Mr. Worldwide in small segments, in
small segments, if possible, right? And if I have to choose the Olympics or Copa America, I'm choosing the Copa America. I love the Olympics, of course, but, the Copa will be just truly special because I really just want the footy, right? So.
Yeah. Well, let us know. Let everyone else know where you'll be at with Copa, and we're going to be going to a bunch of matches and then dabbling over at the Euro too, because it's happening at the same time.
So, you know what? I'm trying to get to Germany too, bro. Not to work, but just to go. I'm trying to go just to see. Yeah. I want to pop in for like 4 or 5 days. So I mean, let's see.
That's what
we will be there. Let's find a way to overlap some schedules. We'll have our people reach your people.
Yeah, that's right. That sounds brilliant. My Android will reach your iPhone, okay, and we'll go from there.
Hey, Android boy, Android.
Let's go. All right.
Najjah, I'll repeat Mike's gratitude. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for spending time, and blessings to you. Thanks for sharing yourself and your just positive energy. Loved everything.
All right. Well,
figured
I
out.
appreciate you, and I appreciate Mikey. Your new name is Mikey Don. All right, Don Dada. All right, and then Colin, your new name C Dub. All right, C Dub is in the building. C Dub and Mikey Don. Thank you so much. And I just want to say one last thing. All right, Glory Man United. We're cellar dwellers, but I still love my club. All right, I got to put some respect on. I got to let people know that I'm Vibes Man United, even though we're garbage. Listen, I'm a Glazers gotta go. That's another story, but I want to let everybody out there to know when you see me, you could chirp me, all right, for being a United fan.
Hey,
There you
he's
go.
loud, he's proud, and he's good to each other. You know,
Yeah,
he's nailing the motto.